and everybody has the right to exercise his or her franchise. This time, the voters should be cautious about their health. So, in this climate, you have to keep your health proper and you have to keep yourself fit. The first and foremost approach that we have to stay away from dehydration. Mainly, we will deal with heat cramps. The common mistake we make whenever there is an abdominal pain, we think it's a serious condition.
Hello and welcome to News Asia. Right now I am sitting with Dr. Arindam Biswas, consultant in general medicine. As we all know that the election season has officially begun and voters will be lining up in election booths very soon. But what is of prime importance is that the heat has also stepped in between the election season. So we'll hear from Dr. Arindam Biswas about how to combat the heat during the polling season, also how the candidates should combat the heat during this polling season that has already stepped in. Sir, welcome to News Asia.
Thank you very much to News Asia for giving me a chance to speak on a subject that is very important and relevant.
Sir, firstly, the election heat has also begun and the summer heat has already started stepping in. So, what is your message to the voters who will be lining up for the election for casting their vote very soon?
Well, elections are an important part, integral part of democracy, and everybody has the right to exercise his or her franchise. This time, the voters should be cautious about their health. The heat will be scorching every day, and the temperature will be soaring. So, in this climate, you have to keep your health proper and you have to keep yourself fit. In that case, I would like to suggest a few aspects. I would like to throw light on few aspects which will keep everybody fit. In that case, as the temperature will be soaring, so one should not keep himself dehydrated. The first and foremost approach that we have to stay away from dehydration, because dehydration can prove costly. If you queue up, if you are dehydrated, you can face heat-related illness. Now, we divide heat-related illness into three parts: heat cramps, heat exhaustion, and heat stroke. So, heat stroke is an uncommon condition in Bengal, but it happens in other states. But that is very lethal and it can kill someone. Mainly, we will deal with heat cramps. Whenever somebody is standing, queuing up for a long time under the sun, under the pitiless sun, in that case, the cramping will be very risky. Patients feel uncomfortable and they suffer from muscle cramps in different parts of the body. The common mistake we make whenever there is an abdominal pain, we think it's a serious condition. We go for a plethora of investigations, but ultimately, we do not find any serious illness. It's simply because of abdominal cramps, because there are lots of abdominal muscles which starts cramping because of dehydration, and patient feels that there is an abdominal pain. So one needs to drink water, especially mineral rich water. I will not advise anybody to drink soft drinks because those are hypertonic, they draw water, and the vascular system will be bereft of proper water percentage. In that case, drink water which is mineral rich, eat fruits which contains high amount of minerals and water, use a cap to avoid this direct exposure of the sun. These things will help you a lot. But at the same time, if you are not fit enough to walk for a long distance, it's better to avoid. Use a proper vehicle. And the people, obviously the journalists, police force, and other people who are employed or who have to go outside in different places under the sun, needs to take proper rest for some time under the shade. They should not get exposed to the sun for a prolonged period. That can result in heat exhaustion. Heat exhaustion is a serious problem. It is not lethal, but it's a serious problem. It can result in vomiting,
Is
nausea.
this is applicable for the candidates also? I have been talking to many candidates during this election season. The campaign has already begun. So I talked to a candidate today who said that he is walking 14 kilometers daily for the campaign. So does all of this apply to the candidates as well?
If you are not habituated, I will request every candidate to use a vehicle. Most of the time they use it, but if you walk 14 kilometers, if you are not habituated, if you are not acclimatized to such condition, it's better to avoid walking for a prolonged period. This is the issue which I would like to reiterate again, that a candidate should take care of his health, because more they walk, more you are feeling uncomfortable. Ultimately, you land up using expletives in different street corner meetings because your mind and your body is not working in proper coordination. So this is a common phenomena. This is a commonplace. Candidates are trying to fight against against all odds and ultimately losing their temper very easily, because you are not keeping yourself fit mentally and physically. If you are physically unfit, it will have ramifications on the mental apparatus. If you are mentally unfit, it will have ramifications on the physical apparatus. So, both the conditions are important. The candidates should be very careful about their health and especially with their diet. They should not eat oily items, because more you eat oily items, you will feel dehydrated. Avoid drinking soft drinks. Avoid using your voice. Avoid using your voice at a very high tone, because every individual has a different kind of voice. It differs. Few candidates starts hollering. That hollering needs to be stopped. They have to control their emotions. So if you consider all the aspects, eating proper food, avoiding oily items, eating mineral rich water will help every candidate to brave all the odds and contest the elections in the proper way.
If you were to design a kit bag for the candidates to uh, go for campaigning, what essential items do you think should be there inside that?
There should be a ORS or a fruit juice bottle. There should be lots of creams, because in this dryness, in this dry weather, people can suffer from itching because of the dryness of the skin. So it's better to use few creams that can help. Use a cap to avoid the direct exposure of the sun, and to wear cotton clothes, garments made of cotton, because they contain pores, and light colored shirt or trousers.
Orange t-shirt or a green t-shirt?
That's a very good question. That depends upon the party's choice. That depends upon the candidate's choice. But light colored, there is a scientific reason why the police force in Bengal wears white in comparison to other states. Because when the Britishers were there, they found out in Bengal, wearing light color will not absorb the heat. That's why white in color. It was absolutely white in color. So the candidates should also wear light colors. If they have a preference for a particular color, they can wear it. It is up to them. It is up to them to use their liberty. And cotton clothes is very important because they contain pores. They allow the sweat, the heat to get released from the body. You will feel cooler than what you are. So, this is in a nutshell the important points, the cardinal points to be remembered and followed by every candidate as well as the citizen in Bengal who are geared up to line up and exercise their franchise.
What is your message to the young voters who are going to vote very soon? 2 phases of election this year. What will be your message as a doctor?
First, don't lose your temper, don't get too emotional, don't get carried away by emotions. Think about it that you are part of the democracy. You are an important part of, integral part of the democracy. You have to strengthen democracy by keeping yourself cool, healthy. You line up and think accordingly which party to vote. The voters, young voters, there will be party workers. Young voters means there will be party supporters. They should not be too emotional and refrain from using invectives during elections, because in democracy that is not at all honorable, or it is a matter of pleasure.
Even for health.
Even for health, obviously. If you lose your temper, that will have an impact on the brain as well as the heart. So in that case, you have to be cautious. You have to be diligent enough to think about your health, about your mental apparatus, and think about strengthening the democracy. In order to strengthen the democracy, we have to be very calm, composed, and we have to maintain poise.
We were with Dr. Arindam Biswas, who gave us some brilliant insights on how to combat the polling heat as well as the summer heat. So, thank you, sir, for being with us. And for more updates, keep following News Asia.